What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's time for a recap of Teen Mom 2 Season 8, Episode 25. The episode kicks off with Jenelle Evans and David Eason letting us know that their home, their modular home that was supposed to be passed down for 10 generations is already like sinking and cracking at the roofs, I guess the walls as well, less than 1 year in. Funny enough, Jenelle actually admits that the house was crap from the beginning, which is a very different tune than what they were singing on Instagram when they first started building and when they first moved into it as well. Remember, she gave a whole interview to E! News and everything about her beautiful new place. Meanwhile, in Dover, Poppy heads on over to Petty Betty's house to let her know that he's going to be deploying within the next month, and he comes in like speaking really sadly, like he's gonna cry, or like he expects Kail to cry or something. Like, it was just weird, the energy that he brought in there. But keep in mind as well that Brianna's mom claimed that his whole deployment thing was like a fake thing for a storyline. So he did say he was going to go within the month. It turns out, it's a couple months out. He never did actually wind up deploying. Obviously, those sorts of things do happen. But when you factor in, Brianna's mom saying that as insider information, that he just did that for sympathy on the show, it is quite interesting. So anyway, he's talking to Kail about deploying. And for some reason, Kail turns it into a conversation about Brianna, the same girl who said that she was never going to give Javiana any more screen time on the show, is constantly bringing her up at every turn. So she decides to tell Javi, oh, so you're going to be deploying, you need to make better life choices. Says the chick holding a baby that she had with a dude that she hardly even knows, who won't even give her the time of day, right? So Javi is like, I'm trying my best, you need to respect my relationship. Kail brings up the group chat where Brianna told her to S her D and everything. It was a whole ass mess, and at a certain point, Javi's like, listen, you cannot tell me that I need to make better decisions when you had all sorts of men running through the house. And Kail completely denied it, which, it's funny because she was documenting it for social media. We saw that Dionysus or whatever guy. We saw other men in the home. We saw, of course, Chris in the home as well, as far back as last season. So Javi is telling the truth. And he's like, you even had a baby while I was deployed by some guy who wasn't even your boyfriend. So don't tell me about making better decisions. And that stopped Petty Betty in her tracks. She's like, you know what? Say goodbye to the damn kids, Javi. Boys, Isaac, Lincoln. And she calls him over and dismisses him from her home upon getting dragged. I don't blame you, girl. Moving on over to West Virginia, Gracie puts on makeup and Leah tells her that she doesn't need it. And Gracie responds by saying she does need it because she doesn't want to be a hot mess in the morning. Oh my God, is she ever a handful? She then admits to a friend at her home that she and Jeremy actually hooked up a couple months back at his home. Remember, he lives on a plot of land in one home and his parents live in one behind him. And she's like, I had to sneak on out of there because his parents, were there. I had dropped Addie off with them. I know Leah thinks she managed to sneak out without being detected by, Jeremy's mom, but I'm pretty sure she saw her on the deer cam. Now, in snack break Chelsea's world, she tells Aubrey that Adam is sick and is not making the right decisions right now. She also reveals that Adam's mom asked her to meet up and she said no. And to us, she was like, it's because of the way she treated me. Like, there's no way I'm gonna meet up with her after that. Then she picks up Aubrey from school and asks her, hey, did Grandma Donner come to have lunch with you? Because she was supposed to. She gets that once a week. And Aubrey reveals that no, she didn't. And I kind of suspect that it's kind of like retribution for Chelsea refusing to meet up with her. Back over on the Land Before Time again, the VP of the modular home company comes over to check out what's going on with David and Jenelle's, place. Why is it sinking? Why is it cracking? Everything seems to be going decently. But David started getting gully for no reason, right? The guy's like, okay, it was supposed to be this amount put down before we built your home. David's like, no, that amount was not put down. And it seemed like the guy was going to start trying to work with them for a fix. And so once they get inside, David's like, just so you know, I've built houses before. Well, why didn't you build your own house then, since you're such a genius? And this is some bull, S-H-I-T. By the way, my wife, she's got 12 million social media followers. Okay. First of all, Jenelle does not have no damn 12 million social media followers. And second of all, okay. David, his whole life and identity is all things that his wife has. Imagine as a man, having nothing of your own and always using your wife's money to stunt and her social media followers to threaten people. You know, take that huge ass L, sir. Seriously, what the hell did these two expect when they decided to build a house on swamp land? Of course it was gonna sink. So Javi comes on down to Florida to hang out with Brianna again, to visit her, and for some reason he was staying in that crowded ass apartment. Like, OMG, he's got more than enough money to rent a hotel room, so I don't know why he didn't opt for that. And it's like, Brianna shares a room with like, what, 1 or 2 kids? Like, it's just so much. Like, was he sleeping on the couch? Why not just get a damn hotel? This is like Florida. I'm sure there's so many everywhere. You know, I just don't get it. But the two of them decide to get matching tattoos, chess pieces, king and queen pieces. Who the king and queen are, you know, around here remains to be seen, but that's what they decided to get tattooed on themselves to commemorate their, what, 2-week-long relationship. Let this sink in, you guys. Brianna's child, her new child, doesn't even have her first tooth yet. And here her mom is already like moving this quickly with a new man, you know, getting matching tattoos. Absolutely insane how quickly these people move. Back on Kail's side of the storyline, she reveals that Chris's family refuses to come pick Lux up at her home, which I don't blame them. They're trying to avoid being filmed as much as possible, and maybe her home is just too far out for them and they just don't want to do it. Maybe they know she's always got all kinds of like random strangers in her home. They don't want, you know what I mean? Like, it's reasonable for them to not want to. They hardly know this chick. She wasn't anything to Chris, right? She was just a jump off. So of course they don't want to come to her home. And so to punish them, Petty Betty decides, hey, fine, then we're gonna meet at the local police department. Really, girl? Really? She no wonder they don't like her. She's been lying about their son since she was knocked up by him, claiming he was never gonna be there, he didn't want to be involved. You know, I think she also claimed the family didn't want to be involved, and here they are trying their best at every turn while she is always blocking them and making things more difficult than they need to be. So anyway, even Jenelle is not that petty, you know, even like Leah was not that petty at a certain point. Like, this girl's pettiness knows no bounds. Back in West Virginia again, Jeremy and Leah talk about how Addie pulled his heartstrings when she talked about not having her parents together. Leah admits to telling MTV about their hookup, and Jeremy asks what she thinks about them getting back together, and Leah completely avoids the question. Over in Dover, Chris and his family are done with their visitation of Lux, and so they meet up with Kail to drop him back off. And Kail, of course, brought her gang of like hangers-on, and when she got Lux back, she goes to the car. She tells her friend, she's like, Chris was there, but he wouldn't even talk to me. Like, we're supposed to be communicating, which is quite funny because that used to be the problem that Javi and Joe had with her. Kail always would like pull silent treatment or PFA type shit with people, you know? So it's quite ironic that all of her techniques are being used back against her, and it is keeping her pressed like a panini. So for some reason, on the side of the road with her friends, instead of just being happy that her son got to visit his dad and that his dad wants to be in his life, she decides to go through the bag of things that Chris brought for her, gave to her. So Chris gave Lux 3 onesies, I think some socks as well, hangers, and formula. But for some reason, that is a problem for Petty Betty. She opens it. She's like, I mean, this is random. You know, it's a bit random. Why did he give me this? Like, really, girl, you are such a miserable excuse for a person. It's no wonder this man and his family want literally nothing to do with your trifling ass. You know, it would have been a problem if Chris didn't give her anything. She would have been like, I mean, Chris could have at least given me a pack of socks. But here he is giving you socks, onesies, a hanger to hang those onesies, and formula. But for some reason, it's a goddamn problem. Okay, you guys, snack break. Chelsea is not letting up on this Adam thing. It's like literally nothing else happens in her life. I'm sure she's got other things she could be filming, but nope. Let's talk about Adam some more, okay? It turns out that Cole picked up Aubrey from Adam's mom, and she demanded to talk to Chelsea and claimed that she'd roll up on Chelsea on some specific day. His mom then says that Chelsea hurt a lot of people by going to court, and that she's only believing lies as well because Adam does not do drugs. His mom legitimately thinks that Adam's arrests are bullshit. Him failing drug tests are also bullshit. It's like, Yeah, parents can be somewhat delusional about like their kids' level of ain't shitness, but when the law is involved multiple times, you kind of have to look at your child and go, damn son, you ain't shit. But for some reason, she refuses to do that and she's lashing at everybody else instead. Like, obviously, Adam's mom loves her granddaughter, Aubrey, so why isn't she thinking about protecting Aubrey above her son at this point? Because point blank period, Adam is a danger to Aubrey in his current state. And, you know, they need to be helping him while he battles his issues with addiction instead of enabling him. This kind of reminds me of Mimi, Jen, and Larry as well over in the OG world. It's quite troubling how delusional and enabling some parents can be, you guys. And in the final scene of the episode, Javi talks to his sister about how deployment could affect his relationship with Brianna, and he says that he knows their relationship is real because they have such deep conversations. And then this guy goes and pulls out an engagement ring that he bought for his girlfriend of all of 2 weeks. His sister rightfully tells him that he is moving way too quickly. Guys, what is wrong with this guy? It's almost like you could see the crazy in his eyes, like the desperation. It's quite off-putting. And for me as a viewer, I don't see Brianna as being interested in him like whatsoever. Even when he went over to her place and told her that he was going to be deployed within a month for the next 6 months, she's like, oh, wow, you know, it's gonna fly by. That's all good. You know what I mean? Like nothing. No emotion whatsoever. Even when she went to pick him up at the airport, she didn't even kiss him on the mouth. I just don't see it. Do you think this relationship is legitimate? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below about anything that went down in this episode of Teen Mom 2. You can also like this video, subscribe for more. Feel free to share it with your friends as well, and follow me across social media where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.